Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So it's been a bit, I haven't posted a video in a couple of days, and so I figured that I would start off by recapping some of the stuff that happened in the trailer for Daryl Dixon Season 2, but not really talking about the stuff that I already talked about. I want to talk about more of the other things that happened in the trailer. I really want to talk about some of the awesome Daryl scenes in the trailer, and also the decision by Daryl to actually go back to America, because I do think that is something that not a lot of people are focusing on right now, but it is going to be a big thing for Season 2 and also going into Season 3, right? So before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. Now, I haven't posted in a bit, and it's because I lost somebody very, very close to me. My uncle actually passed away the other day, and it was very surprising. It sort of happened out of nowhere. It was due to cancer, and it just happened so fast. It happened pretty much out of nowhere. We all sort of found out about 2 months ago, but it just sort of, with what's happened the last couple of days, it just doesn't seem real. And so I just wanted to mention that, I've just been spending a lot of time with family and stuff because, the family's hurting and we're all very close. That's the one thing about my family is that we're all so close. We're very close, and you lose someone as incredible as him, and he was just in his mid-40s, 2 young kids, and it just, everyone feels it, everybody feels it. So I just wanted to say that that's what I've been dealing with the last little bit, but I am, I'm starting to focus a little bit more on doing videos again. And I figured, just to get back, into doing more normal things just for myself personally, starting to do videos again, all of that, definitely helps. And so I figured that I would, start off with the trailer and sort of, I guess get back into the mindset of Daryl Dixon Season 2 is premiering next month, because I'm so excited for the show. I really can't wait. I believe we're like 48 days away now or something like that. I could be wrong. I think it's about that many days away though, right? Because it's August 12th. Yeah, that makes sense. And so around this point, like I always said, around the 50-day mark, everything just flies right by, and I can totally see why, because in 2 weeks from now, it's going to be the end of August, and at that point, we're a month away, and the promotion's going to be really insane, especially once we hit September. So I can't wait for the show. I really cannot wait for the show. I'm so excited for Daryl Dixon Season 2, and the decision he makes here to come home is going to be something that I wonder how people are going to feel about it overall, and I wonder if people are going to point out, well, wait, what? In the finale, you decide to stay in France, and so what, now you want to go back home right away? I guess I do get that. Like, if people are feeling like that, I understand it, because that is, you made the decision to stay, right? But what I will say is that I feel like it's not necessarily fully that. Norman Reedus actually mentioned something recently, I believe it was at Comic-Con, where he said that, he didn't really have a choice. Like, Daryl was sort of leaning to, I guess staying in France, but then he saw Laurent there on the beach, and he was like, well, I have to go and help him out because there's walkers everywhere, right? And then I have to go and bring him back and whatnot. So I'm actually really confused by that, because I was always under the belief that Laurent wasn't real in that scene. Now, I remember saying that back then, and a lot of people were saying, well, no, like, he's real. He's actually there. And I was like, well, there's no way, because how would Laurent actually make it all the way over there? Like, he would have had to have left at some point after Daryl did. And not only that, if you think of some of the scenes beforehand, like at the very end, in order for Daryl to actually get to where he got, it was like at least a day or two of travel, because there were some scenes of him at nighttime actually like camping, right? So I'm confused at that. Like, if that was actually what happened, that means Laurent actually traveled from the nest all the way over there by himself and like would have camped out somewhere, during the night, and like all of that. And I just feel like for the nest, that would have been kind of irresponsible for them to do, to allow Laurent to leave, because that's, everyone wanted him to go there, right? So, like, that's why I have a lot of questions with that, and I feel like maybe they didn't think all that through entirely. Like, I don't know. I don't really know what the explanation for all of that is at all, but what I will say is, no matter what, there's going to be a storyline that doesn't really make a lot of sense, right? Like, you're going to have either Laurent somehow ending up, at the beach there with Daryl, or you're going to have Daryl deciding to stay in France, and then the next episode him being like, oh, maybe we should go, kind of thing, right? I still think that it's just not as simple as like, okay, I'm just gonna stay. Like, I think no matter what, if Daryl was like, all right, I'm gonna go home, and then he went back to America, I think the second he was on a boat or a plane or whatever going back to America, he would be like, oh, I kind of want to go back. You know what I mean? I think that he would, like, no matter what, he feels like he's stuck in both places right now. He does want to go back home. Like, obviously he does, but I still think that he really feels like, he needs to be there in France, right? Because he also met Isabelle Laurent and became very close to them, So I can see that, them deciding to go back to America with him, I think that's where Daryl's like, oh, this is perfect. Obviously for Isabelle Laurent, I think it's going to take a little bit, because you can't just have them decide to leave. And I think that they're going to want to stay at the nest. So it's going to have to take losing the nest in order for Isabel and Laurent to eventually decide to go back to America. But I do wonder if this is going to be a theme this season, or a question that we have. Like Daryl, you know, he asked Laurent how he feels about this. Maybe he doesn't want to leave and Isabel would love to leave. Or maybe it's the other way around, where Laurent's like, yes, I'll go with you, Daryl. But Isabel's like, well, no, we can't. Like, you know, this is my home, and, you know, I wanted to bring Laurent to the nest, and this is where he should be. And maybe after losing the nest, that's where Isabel's like, all right, let's go. Like, we just have to go. And so that's sort of the storyline going into season 3, is they're going to go back to America. Why they go to Spain, obviously, we don't know. There's a lot of, I mean, we still have to watch 6 episodes here to really know what the story is eventually going to be at that point. But I think that is going to be the general story here throughout season 2 going into season 3. And if you haven't watched the opening minutes yet, I really recommend doing so. I noticed that the official Walking Dead account only tweeted about it or posted about it yesterday on X. And so if you haven't done that, I definitely recommend going to go do that. I did a video breaking down the opening minutes and all that already. So once you watch that, you can go watch that video. But yeah, I definitely recommend doing that. I think it's just on AMC Plus. So it's like 11 minutes or something, 10 to 11 minutes. And it's a really, honestly, it sets up the season so perfectly. And I just find it kind of shocking that they didn't really talk about that before, or at least I don't remember them talking about it before. But I saw their post yesterday and I was like, oh wow, I think this is the first time they're really talking about this. Like, this is actually available, because yeah, it's a pretty big deal if you're able to watch like the first 10 minutes or so, right? And so what I also wanted to focus on as well in the trailer here was a lot of the fight scenes. I believe that the fight scenes for Daryl Dixon are some of the best, honestly, in quite a while. Like, even in season 1, some really incredible stuff there. And I will say, it is funny that in this trailer specifically, they do spoil how he escapes. And that is that he actually does escape Madame Genet's place, or whatever you would call it, right? Like, he actually gets away, because we know he gets caught at some point. And so I don't know if an episode's going to end that way. Say episode 1 or episode 2 ends with Daryl getting caught by Madame Genet. I mean, obviously, we all know just in general he's going to be fine, but like, we know because we saw the trailer, we saw how he got out exactly, right? So they kind of showed that in the trailer. They spoiled it a little bit there, but it also wasn't even a small scene in the trailer. It was actually a pretty big scene in the trailer that honestly I thought was really cool. I feel like Daryl has had some of the best action scenes just in general, like on The Walking Dead, just from the very beginning. I remember when he threw the grenade in the tank in season 4, that was so amazing. Just a lot of the walker kills and stuff are really incredible. That one time he had the bazooka. Like, he always gets those really incredible scenes, and out of all the characters, he always had like the most insane, really cool scenes, right? So I hope that Daryl does eventually get some more cool scenes like that. I mean, I guess technically you can include the fact that it was Daryl that was fighting the variant walker, right? He actually had 2 really cool scenes with the variant walker. There's one on the boat, and then one in Madame Genet's place. I'm not sure what that place is called, but yeah, he's had some really incredible fight scenes just in general. Like, out of all the characters in the Walking Dead universe that have ever existed, Daryl, I feel like, has to be number 1 in terms of the best action scenes, right? I could be wrong, but I also wanted to point that out as well. Daryl Dixon is going to be on Netflix on the 19th, I believe, like season 1 of The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. So if you haven't watched it yet, or you want to rewatch it, it's going to be available on the 19th, and I think I will probably rewatch it then, just because right now I don't have AMC Plus, because I always get rid of it just for like the off season of The Walking Dead. If there was more Walking Dead shows, I'd probably keep it around like year round, but there's kind of no point, because The Ones Who Live ended at the very end of March, right? So I'm not going to keep it throughout the entire year. Like, the show's premiering the end of September, so I'll get it at some point then. But yeah, so I'm excited for Daryl Dixon season 2. I'm going to be doing a Q&A video next, so do stay tuned for that. I'm going to be planning a bunch of my videos here. I have a lot of video ideas just sort of written down here that I'll eventually get to here, and I'll try to get a lot of the rewatch videos out in terms of, like, you know, reviewing older episodes. I know I still have to do episode 13, 14, 15, 16 of season 5, so I'll go back to doing that and get as much as I can for the rest of the month. In terms of, you know, just content for the rest of the month, it's probably mostly going to be The Walking Dead, because there's not really a lot out right now. Like, there's no other shows airing right now, and I don't know, maybe I'll go watch some movies or something and then do some movie reviews. But yeah, feels good to have the first video done here, and yeah, you know, I hope all of you guys are doing amazing. I hope you guys are doing really great, and yeah, stay tuned for my Q&A video coming out later on today. I'm not sure exactly what time it's going to be out. I've been trying to like make the videos come out a little bit further apart, and so I'll try release one a little bit in the earlier afternoon, and then my second video like more in the evening, but like later evening. So we'll see how that works. But yeah, so stay tuned for that. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.